Welcome to today's Coffee and Colossians. And not just coffee, but my daughter is a wonderful baker and she made these for my birthday last week. So, yep. But I won't eat them while I'm talking. I'll have it when I'm done here. Are you the center of the universe? Am I the center of the universe? It's a ridiculous question to which we would say, of course we're not, of course we're not. But in reality, in our world, we are. Because we perceive everything entirely from our perspective. But who is the center of the universe? That's a really important aspect. So we're looking at Colossians 1. The Son is the image of the invisible God, the firstborn over all creation. For in him all things were created, things in heaven and on earth, visible and invisible, whether thrones or powers or rulers or authorities. And we read this. All things have been created through him and for him. All things have been created through him and for him. So the purpose of creation, the purpose of you and me, is for Christ. Stephen Hawking, in his book, A Brief History of Time, which I argue is, or some people have said, is the most bought, unread book in history, because it's very difficult to read. But I remember this phrase really stuck out for me. It would be very difficult to explain why the universe would have begun in just this way, except as the act of a God who intended to create human beings like us. Now, he argues against the anthropic principle, the idea that everything exists for us. I actually think that in some ways he was right. I mean, I think he was wrong. I think God did intend to create beings just like us. And I think, according to Genesis 1, and I think this is obviously correct, that we are the center of his creation. And Hawking recognizes at least the universe looks like that, and then his book is so difficult because he tries to explain away what it looks like. But I would suggest that what we're taught here is not an anthropic principle where humanity is at the center, but a Christocentric principle where Christ is at the center. All things are created by Christ and for Christ. In Romans 8, so you see that everything is moving towards Christ. Let me read just from verse 18. The creation waits in eager expectation for the children of God to be revealed. For the creation was subjected to frustration not by its own choice, but by the will of the one who subjected it, in hope that the creation itself will be liberated from its bondage to decay and brought into the freedom and glory of the children of God. Revelation 22:13. I am the Alpha and the Omega, the first and the last, the beginning and the end. Or Ephesians 1, beg your pardon. Ephesians 1 and verse 9. He made known to us the mystery of his will according to his good pleasure, which he purposed in Christ to be put into effect when the times reach their fulfillment, to bring unity to all things in heaven and on earth under Christ. So this is all saying that everything is made by Christ, everything is made for Christ, everything is going towards Christ. The Jesus we worship is not an isolated individual, just one of the many gods. He's the one through whom and for whom everything exists. All things have been created through him and for him. And what that means is this, just at this very simple practical level. You're created for God. I'm created for God. You're created for Christ. I am created for Christ. We are not at the center of the universe. We are not the be-all and the end-all. And you know, once you grasp that, it is strangely and wonderfully liberating. God bless you, and hopefully see you tomorrow. Bye.